a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
I decided talking wasn't going to help, so I closed my eyes and imagined I was a falcon. Right away, my skin began to burn. I had trouble breathing. I opened my eyes and gasped. I was really, really short. Eye level with Bast's shins. I was covered in feathers, and my feet had turned into wicked claws, kind of like my paw form, but this was real flesh and blood. My clothes and bag were gone, as if they'd melted into my feathers. My eyesight had completely changed, too. I could see 180 degrees around, and the detail was incredible. Every leaf on every tree popped out. I spotted a cockroach 100 yards away, scurrying into a sewer drain. I could see every pore on Bast's face, now looming above me and grinning.
Welcome to Of the Eldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parents.
I'm Raye, following the path of Geb.
And I'm Charlie, following the path of Bast.
And I am Robert, following the path of, hey, go ahead and email the people who are doing GashCon 2 and tell them to have me, Raye, and Charlie as featured guests at GashCon 2. It'll be great.
I really want to know if this will work. Like, I'm
It doesn't work unless you put effort into it, and I'm putting effort into this, baby.
This is like the longest running bit you've ever had.
Good.
Robert, how are you doing today?
Hey, guys, I don't know if you know, but like we're in trying times.
Really? No way.
The times are about to become even more trying, so...
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that, but if I just don't think about it, it won't be as bad. It'll actually be worse if I don't think about it. But if I don't think about it right now, I can record a podcast about the King Chronicles.
Yeah,
okay, not to actually talk about politics, but did you guys hear about the Department of Government Efficiency?
Doge did not die for this. Oh yeah, so Trump made is going to apparently make a brand new part of the government called the Department of Organizing Government. What the fuck is it?
Government efficiency. Efficiency means cutting a bunch of shit to save money. You know, like how Elon Musk took over Twitter and then fired half the staff and then Twitter stopped functioning? They would like to do that to the country, and they hid it underneath a meme name. Yes, he's appointing Elon Musk to Doge. That's the plan anyways. Sometimes these guys just say shit that they're not allowed to do. Maybe Congress will say no, that's dumb. Who knows?
Maybe, just maybe.
Anyways. Please release me from this mortal coil at this point. Like, I'm so over everything.
Yeah, for real. Anyways, just wanted to say that, because, I don't know, we live in a clown world.
We unfortunately live in a society.
Guys, it's time to transition to clown gender, because we're all clowning.
Okay, so who wants to talk about the King Chronicles?
I really do. This is my escape. This is how I escape the mortal realm. Tell me about fruit bats and how they go bad.
Yeah, when fruit bats go bad. How we feel about chapter title. It's a little fun. Accuracy is like a maybe. They're fruit bats. It's not their fault that they're being used in an evil spell. I don't know about all that, man.
My mic should be right. Hold on. Let me just double. It should be the right mic.
Yeah. Oh, no, you do sound louder than usual. I was surprised.
Do you hear that?
Okay.
Right, Mike. I mean, yeah, I'm a little louder than usual because I've been playing with my settings for Percy Jackson 1 year later. So.
Sorry, I messaged them and I thought they were going to just look at it.
I'm looking at it, but also I'm gonna say out loud, oh, is my my microphone not microphoning?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Ray, continue.
Oh no, you guys have any chapter title thoughts? I don't have an alternate for this one.
Like, when fruit bats go bad, like, it is kind of like meh, but like you do need to include, I feel like, the fruit bats in there because like, I mean, it's either that or like something about the element of cheese, even though that was like a joke for 2 seconds. it was still pretty good to me.
Yeah. It's. I mean, listen, when your fruit bat goes bad, I mean, I feel like you should follow what the government says, and usually they recommend that if it smells bad, looks bad, it's safe to throw out.
Oh, wait, I actually do have an alternate chapter title now that I think about it, and that's We Become Animorphs. Because the whole bird section, I was like, this is just like my Animorphs books.
There you go.
The Animorphs turn into birds of prey like every book, actually, because it's the most convenient way to get around. It's great. Oh, also, one of them is permanently a bird of prey, so also,
I was gonna say,
that.
Isn't there some kid who's just a bird forever because of those books?
Yeah, and that's why I love red-tailed hawks, because of my dear sweet boy.
Poor guy.
Sometimes that's life. Sometimes you gotta start living in the woods and eating small rodents.
Sure. You know what? That sounds like a great idea. I'll do that for the next 4 years.
Oh, okay, good. But yeah, they were like describing flying things, and especially the really good sight that birds have, and I was like, wow, just like in all of my Animorphs, every time they're like, wow, I can see a mouse moving a piece of grass from a mile away.
Wow, This is just like Animorphs. Amazing.
That's the chapter title. This is just like Animorphs for real. Okay, so speaking of which, Best, she heals Carter's rib. Thankfully, we can stop worrying about that. You know how concerned about it I was. They clarify that they are in fact hosting gods, specifically Horus for Carter and Isis for Sadie. Neither of them are very happy about that. Best knows about a book with a spell to defeat Set, which sounds real convenient. Inconveniently, it's in Desjardins, his house. That guy. The Frenchman, it's in his house. It's good, though, that his house is literally, like, down the road. It's also in Paris. So, you win some, you lose some. They sneak in by turning into birds, as you do. Bast really likes birds.
She really likes birds. She wants to eat these children, but only as bird.
But she loves them so much, she would never.
Listen, whatever animal you have in your household loves you so much, but if, like, you died and there was no food, they would eat you, so...
I mean, that's fair, though. Like, if I die and we're on a deserted island, you can eat me. That's allowed. Like, you don't let good meat go to waste. So...
Oh
so is that vegan cannibalism?
Oh, God.
Yes. 1, you need consent. 2, you need extraordinary circumstances. But that's just me. Whatever. Back to chapter.
So now that we all know that Raye would allow us to cannibalize them if we were on a deserted island,
that makes sense. Okay, whatever. So they break in, but Sadie is unable to animorph back out. She went over her 2-hour time limit. That's not true. But she gets stuck as a kite. So Carter uses Doughboy to help him search for the right book. They do find it, but it's trapped with an evil fruit bat spell. And they gotta fly out of there pretty fast before they get ripped apart like ripe mangoes. I stole that joke from Rick. The nearest portal is over at the Louvre, and so they run in that direction for next chapter.
Woo! Yeah, we did it, guys. The fruit bats.
That's it. We can stop the podcast now. You already said the ending phrase earlier. Like, let's just turn it off.
That's it. We're done.
We're just so done today. It's fine. Everything's good.
Well, I mean, we can't be done yet because, like, you have something else to talk about.
I do have some other stuff to talk about. That's correct, Robert. How did you know?
I've listened to almost every episode of this goddamn podcast. I've listened to almost every episode of every podcast. My brain is full of podcasts. Someone kill me.
Also, because you put links to Wikipedia in the chat.
Wow. Again, it's almost like you know me. Like, you know this podcast. You know this world.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, in case you missed it, let's start by talking about Sadie's amulet that I was like, we can't talk about it at the start of the book, even though we just got introduced to it, because we don't know what it is yet, and it's also relevant to the god that she hosts. So
spoilers. but now we're here.
The Tayet, I'm gonna say. It's sometimes called the Knot of Isis or the Girdle of Isis, I guess. It's the little alien guy, or evil angel something or other. It's associated with Isis, and yeah, okay, so they're like, oh, it resembles an Ankh, but it's like it's not an Ankh actually. So scratch that. Okay, it resembles a knot of cloth that might have been a bandage used to absorb menstrual blood. Wonderful, guys.
Okay.
We're starting off strong today.
No, that's fine. That's actually very interesting. Like, looking at it, I'm like, okay, that could be a pad with wings.
Wait. So that just reminds me of something that I saw recently. Have you seen it's like a TikTok trend of like guys buying their girlfriend's pads, and they're like, buy me a pad with wings. And so the guy comes home with a bag of pads and then a bag of wings.
Yeah.
Like chicken wings. Like you said, with wings.
My favorite rendition of like a boyfriend buying his girlfriend pads is just like all the men who have never bought pads or tampons or whatever before, and be like, hey babe, what size your pussy?
Oh, I love that so much. Yeah, I think, I don't know if it says in here, but I swear, like, I did read something about that there's like a specific color that it is on this page. It's like a dark reddish, orangish, brownish, and I'm pretty sure that's, like, the color they usually are, like, the ancient ones, specifically. So, maybe that also is related to the menstrual blood thing. Anyway. I don't know. Alright, so the first time we found a Tayet was apparently in, like, the 1940s.
Oof, ouch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Terrible time to be remembering the 1940s right now.
But I guess it predates the first references we have to Isis. So, but then it becomes linked to her later, which, makes sense. She's, like, one of, like, the goddesses of, like, womanhood and all of those things. So, honestly, a lot of goddesses, like, it's like, oh, this is a theory that this goddess is actually an offshoot of Isis. There's a theory that this goddess is actually Isis in disguise, or like that happens, like, too often when I look up, like, Egyptian goddesses that are little known. Like, this is actually just Isis.
Yeah.
Like, okay, just because she's, like, one of the most important female deities doesn't mean that everybody is her. But okay. Oh yeah, it does say that they're usually made of red jasper. Hey. Jasper!
My diamond, your diamond, pig diamond!
Fuse into just a cheap tactic to make weak gems stronger.
I like the meme that I sent in the bits chat that's like, hot dog is just a tactic for weak pork chops to make, I forgot what the fucking thing is.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And it's just like Greg poorly Photoshop with like Jasper's helmet.
There it is. I'm looking at it now. It is just
it's a great
Greg.
One. It's just Greg.
But Jasper.
Stubal!
Grasper, you could say.
Grasper, I barely know her.
I think we've destroyed Raye.
I'm deceased.
So they're often buried with the dead of the early New Kingdom. Apparently, people were buried without one placed within mummy wrappings, usually in the upper torso. Okay. They protect the mummies, maybe. And yeah, they are usually red jasper, carnelian, or red glass, I guess. So, just a lot of red. But some are made from green, which is renewal of life. Okay. Is that why Osiris is green?
It's not easy being green.
Yeah, it's just a knot. I don't know what else to say about it. There's honestly not a whole lot here. It just is a thing.
I mean, it is just a knot.
With Isis, I guess, that we really don't know a whole lot about.
It's a symbol. It's protective. It says, put them on people. Get some good goddess spirit in you.
Like a protective thing, and they also really go pretty hard on that, especially in this chapter. With the amulets are literally like protecting you, like so people don't know where you are and all of that. So like Rick was just like, hey, this symbolizes Isis. Let's go with that one for my other protagonist. But also the fact that it's compared to like this thing from Crete, like this Minoan sacral knot. Okay, sure, guys. We need to stop comparing all of these things. They're not all the same.
What's that thing that's like, I am Drew, I am something, and we are not the same person.
They have like different lives and different wives or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we are different nonetheless.
So, let's talk about someone else. The man, the myth, the legend. You all know him. You all love him. It's Horus.
What a whore.
Also known as
Ooh.
Whore.
Falcon guy.
He could also just be called Whore. I mean, it's just spelled H-O-R, but still. Man, what a whore. Alright, so, Horus. What do we got on some etymology for him? It's possible that his name could mean falcon.
Well, that tracks.
Doesn't it? Or the distant one, the one who is above or over, you know. So there's something about maybe his name means son of Isis? I don't know. So he's like one of the most significant Egyptian gods. The most important guy. This is the guy that is inside Carter's head right now. Isn't that pretty cool? Our small guy.
Pretty gay for Carter to constantly have a guy in his brain. Just constantly think about a guy.
Possession's always gay.
Possession is 9/10 of the law.
God damn it. His little falcon head on his human body, a little bit silly. I like it. He ain't got no neck. He's just a little... He looks very, very surprised to be here. Little tiny neck.
I just love how, so like, you know, they have like their very specific headdress that like looks like, you know, long flowy hair. And they, you know, they have that morphed with like the falcon head, and it just like just goes like so perfectly.
It really does. And then the big old hat on top of that. It's perfect. It's beautiful.
This is just one of the ways that Horus is represented in mythology, is a guy with the falcon head, the two crowns, like the double crown specifically.
Right.
And holding the things that basically all the other gods hold. So he is the god of kingship, healing, protection, the sun, and the sky. At the very least, those things. He's got a lot going on. He's usually a falcon guy. His symbol is the Eye of Horus. His major cult centers are Nekhen, and Edfu, and his parents are... This doesn't even specifically list Geb and Nut. This probably is because this is mostly about Horus the Elder, as he is... Or no, that would be Horus the Younger. I guess this is mostly about Horus the Younger? I don't know. But this just listed as Osiris and Isis, Osiris and Nephthys, and also Hathor. That's supposed to be your wife. Why is she also your mom?
Mythology.
I mean, Isis is also his mom and consort. Like, don't worry about it. This is just how it be.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's just mythology in a nutshell. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. His siblings are Anubis and Bast. Yeah. Consorts.
No
Hathor.
wonder I mean, Carter's not technically Bast's niece, but also he kind of is.
Yeah. Exactly.
Nephew. Damn. Whatever.
Consorts. Hathor. Isis. Serket. Nephthys. And Tabitjet, I don't know who you are. Oh, she's another scorpion goddess. What is with the scorpions?
You know what they got? Man. It's Scorpion.
I guess so.
Where are the snakes?
Yeah. And of course his offspring, at least it specifically says Horus the Elder's offspring would be the 4 sons of Horus. We've already talked about them. Mm-hmm. And then there's also Ihi, who is also his son, apparently. That's just a small child who's naked. Okay. Alrighty. So, and then there's also who's his Greek equivalent? Who could it possibly be? It's Apollo.
Oh, okay,
at least according to
makes sense.
This, I mean, he's a sky deity,
right? But the sun is in the sky.
Yeah, I mean, he's a sky and a sun deity, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering why they chose Apollo there. Interesting.
It's very interesting because, you know, Zeus is sky and he's the king of the gods, and then Apollo is sun and he is not. In this case, it's like Ra is the sun guy and he's the king, or like kind of the big guy, and then Horus is like, you know, the secondary big guy, and he's I don't know. It's like they switched is all that I'm trying to get at very roundaboutly.
I guess they have sky, sun stuff going on and healing going on, but Apollo does not have the kingship. And when I think of kingship, I definitely think of Horus. But maybe that's more of his later associations that I'm thinking of.
Yes.
So, yes?
I believe so.
There you go. It's probably more Horus the Elder that associates with Apollo. So, Horus and the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh's obviously associated with a lot of different deities, like Ra and Osiris, but also specifically Horus. You know, he's both the king and the protector of the king. Very cool. Very cool. I think I already mentioned that the Pharaoh is like Horus in life and then Osiris in death. Okay, so Horus's origins. This specifically says that he's born after they get Osiris's body parts back together. Oh god. I literally just can't sometimes with Egyptian mythology. So we've already mentioned how he's missing his dick.
I'm aware.
Osiris is missing his dick when he is brought back to life. So they have to make a fake one in order for him to, have sex and also conceive his son.
It would be really funny if that worked. Like, if you could actually peg a man and get him pregnant. Like,
strap game so hard, got him pregnant.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to come in?
I thought you were just so disgusted by Mpreg you walked away.
No, sorry. The cat was meowing at the door.
Oh,
the cat heard us
talking.
The cat heard us talking about Mpreg and was like, "Stop this."
We already talked about Mpreg, I think, when we talked about Set as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because they also had very fun sexual encounters there.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally just editing that, so that's why I'm remembering it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but this is just interesting because, like, Rick specifically was like, oh no, Isis was already pregnant with Horus before Osiris died and all of that. He's like, I don't want to...
Very, very convenient. Also, it does actually make some sense, so...
Yeah, I feel like zombie god impregnating his wife should mean something else about Horus somehow. I don't know what, but weird. Okay, she's pregnant with him. They're fleeing from Set, of course, and then she gives birth. This is where we're also mentioning that he's sometimes the son of Geb and Nut. Oh, hey, did you also know that there's a fun offshoot deity adopted by the Greeks that is just Horus the Younger? Maybe we'll talk about him at some other point, but his name is Harpocrates. He's just a child who's got his finger on his lips looking like he's going shh.
Weird.
But it's like it's like another weird thing that he's trying to say by that. That's like a symbol for childhood is what he's doing on his face.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes the Greeks are just like, no, that's a different deity. We're gonna call it this. And it's really weird when they do that. Alright, so we already mentioned he's a sky god. He does a lot of sky god things. His eyes are literally like the sun and the moon. I think I already mentioned that as well. Like, his eye that is taken out is specifically the moon. His right eye is the sun. His left eye is the moon. Where he talked about him and Set and all of that shit.
Don't like each other very much.
Just a long conflict of things that they had going on that really should be satirized in some kind of sitcom or even some weird cartoon. They just really go at it with a lot of weird context between them to see who can be the better king. So then we get to the other forms of Horus. Sometimes...
Yes, this is what I'm actually interested in. Okay, you know what I am interested in is this falcon-headed crocodile right here. My god. Look at that little guy. What an absolute unit.
Absolute.
So he has different forms, but there's always a falcon head involved, I guess. Sometimes he's just a straight up falcon dude with a crown on. Sometimes instead his body is a lion. He's still got a falcon head. He's still got a crown, but he's also a lion. And then I guess sometimes he just doesn't even have the crown and he's just a falcon head on a crocodile. That is a weird little guy.
I love him. He's so something.
And they all have different names, I guess. I don't know. They're all just like slightly different.
It's just a wee bit, little tiny bit different.
Yeah. All right. So there's where we get into Horus the Elder versus Horus the Child, or Horus the Younger, whatever.
See, this is the shit I'm actually curious about. Like, what is going on here?
So yeah, Horus the Elder is the son of Geb and Nut. He's like the patron of the pharaoh. It says he's called the Son of Truth. Important upholder Ma'at. So this is like our sky deity guy who protects the pharaoh, basically.
Yeah.
And then you get to Horus the Child, who he's got like, so there's a very specific way that they represent the youth, as I like already kind of mentioned. But when he's Horus the Younger, he has this very specific braid on the side of his head. I know it has like a specific name too.
It's kind of fun because the lock of hair on the side of the head immediately makes me think of Prince of Egypt. Ramses had a son in that movie who had that, like, it wasn't a braid in there, but yeah, they used that, which is pretty fun.
Very cool. Okay, I just found the page for it. So it's the side lock of youth, the Horus lock, the Prince's lock of childhood. It's a side braid, but the rest of your head is also shaved, usually. So there's that. So like he looks like a human child, but he's also holding a falcon, I guess. So, he's Horus. And I would assume this one is also the one that gets involved with Set and all of that debacle. But it doesn't really say like why they're differentiated in this way.
Yeah, I still have questions, but that's fine.
I think it's just that Horus the Elder is like specifically an older deity. In the Old Kingdom he was like the national god. Does it say how old Horus the Child is? Not really.
He's a child.
It's not really giving me that information.
He's the rising sun. He's young. No further information.
And there's a couple other ones. There's Horus of Bendet. This is a winged version of Horus who's from a specific area. One of his areas of power, Edfu, divinity, royal power, and all of that. Winged sun is symbolic to the eternal soul. Very cool. And then the last one is Horus in the horizon. He represents the dawn.
Horus in the horizon, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
The whore, and he put the whore back in horizon.
Go to sleep.
I will. He represents the dawn and the early morning sun, depicted as a sphinx with the head of a man. There you go. There's where you get the sphinx stuff.
Yay.
Or as a Hyracossphinx, which is lion's body and a falcon's head with wings. Ayo!
Yeah.
Because of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I guess he's got a ram's head because of the other god of the rising sun is Khepri. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Khepri's a beetle. I don't know. I don't understand it. Whatever. Also, apparently Christianity tries to link him with Jesus. So
I was about to say that's pretty fun. I feel like I have like thought of that before, where it's like,
everyone is Jesus according to the Christians.
This outlook remains very controversial. It sure does.
I'm glad it's only two sentences.
Yeah. Anyways, I do think that we should get into some.
No, we're good.
Some
we're good. Let's talk about this chapter because it's a long boy, and I seriously didn't realize how long it was going to be.
Long boy.
Yeah, I gave myself
like
25 minutes to do my reading and do the notes, and I always check first, and I was like, 20 pages. Oh, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I gave myself like 20 minutes, and I was chewing some chippies.
Chomp, chomp.
Chomp, chomp. So, guess what? Guys, we're in Paris. We're in France. Last chapter we had on
put the fucking French song. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Will do. Absolutely. Last time we had on our French correspondent, because I was like, oh yeah, this is the chapter where they're in Paris. I was sadly mistaken.
It's that's last chapter is when they go to Paris, but this is when they're in Paris.
Yeah.
Then again, we had more French in the last chapter than we do in this chapter, so...
Yeah, so
I only know... Everyone go over how much French they know. I know how to count to 10. I know how to say hello. And I know how to say my name is Robert.
Good job.
Omelette du fromage.
Omelette du fromage. Oh, forgot about that.
Yeah, very important.
Yes, serenade the ladies on the playground by saying omelette du fromage.
Good.
I also have always remembered and loved pomme de terre. That is the word for potato. It means apple of the earth, which I just think is charming, so...
I love it. It's so good. Okay, so yeah, we're here. We're hoping that this 12-hour cooldown works, because so far no one's chasing them.
Mm-hmm.
Bast heals the bruised rib, as you mentioned. We're so glad.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I was in fact very worried about his fucking rib. It's superhero movies and shit. In that shit, they're always like, "Oh, my ribs," and then they just like keep doing shit, and I'm like, "Bestie."
That makes it worse. You're tearing stuff up inside you. Stop that.
Yeah. Whenever a superhero like doesn't have a healing factor, I'm like, "Oh, buddy." Like Daredevil, that poor man.
That poor man, but also that it's like really hot to see him like laying beaten in a bed. Like
it sure is. TV Daredevil, he is like one of the hottest men on the planet. Like for real.
Charlie Cox, everybody.
Charlie Cox. Also, shout out to my partner and what's it called? Unofficial Bits secretary Mac, who just texted me, "Je m'appelle Robert."
Thank you, Max.
Nice.
I'm so glad that their name is Robert now.
Oh, fuck. I don't know about y'all. I don't think I could date someone with the same name as me. That'd be fucking weird.
Did I tell y'all a thing? That
oh, God.
one and only cursed Tinder date I went on was when I was in the process of, like, starting to be called Charlie, and I went on a Tinder date with someone who had my dead name.
Oof.
I make great decisions in life.
Oofa doofa.
Well, now you're with Abby, so you're making best decisions.
Correct. Okay, so we learned that the amulets are shielding them, at least.
So,
like,
which means that it'll take the magicians a little longer to find them, because they are most certainly trying to scry for them with all their like little children looking into bowls.
Did we talk about how the house kind of would assume they would teleport somewhere else because it'd be kind of idiotic for them to teleport to Paris, aka Desjardins headquarters?
Well,
they're here.
We didn't mention that, but Bash sure did. Yeah.
Listen.
But you know what? It's working out, so...
Just, hey, while you go to Desjardins' house, get a croissant. For those of you playing along at home, that's a joke of how Tom Holland pronounces croissant.
Croissant.
Get his ass.
No, he says croissant.
Okay, yeah,
that's rough. I do like that this confirms that they could have used the obelisk to go anywhere. Like, they didn't have to go to the sister one in Paris. They could have used any other monument that's a portal location.
That's what they were thinking of. Exactly. Yeah. Specifically, they just kept bringing up, oh yeah, this one has like a sister obelisk in Paris. Yeah, we keep mentioning it every 5 seconds, so that's where we're gonna go. Obviously.
I mean, it's what I would have done, but...
Yeah. But also, it is a great idea to do the thing that, like, would be insane, because, again, no one's going to expect you doing that.
The question isn't who let me, but who will stop me.
Exactly. So yeah, we're fuck it, we balling all over the place, it seems, today.
How much have I poisoned our friend group just by constantly saying fuck it, we ball that one trip in New York?
So much. I say it now way more than I ever did before, which was 0.
Are you living your life and saying, fuck it, we ball? Because if you take the proverb, ball is life, I don't think that's a proverb, but anyway, if you take the phrase, ball is life, then in essence, fuck it, we ball is fuck it, we live. And that is absolutely the mantra I'll be doing the next few years.
Oh my god.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Robert, you need to get fuck it, we ball at a tattoo, I think.
No, I have one rule about tattoos. I'm not getting words tattooed on me. That's the only rule I have.
Oh, yeah? Wait, I have to, like, find this, like, Tumblr post, because it is, like... I think it is, like, for these 5 years, fuck it, we ball, and then in 2025, if still insane, kill yourself, if not insane for podcast.
I love that one. I found that in like 2023 or something. Well, hey, y'all, 2025 next year, are we sane?
No.
See, you can see that I hesitated to even say that. Not because I'm, like, worried about, like, censorship or whatever, just, I like to be positive. So we're all holding it together, besties. Oh, okay. Okay. 5-year plan. Yeah. 2022 to 2024. Fuck it, we ball. Those are 2 different points.
Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Enter. our underscore, whatever the fuck, indent.
Yeah.
We evolve.
Yeah. Then 2025, fully developed brain. And then 2026, if normal, start podcast.
If insane, kill self.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So, hey, y'all, are you ready to have your brain fully developed next year, even though, our brain should have developed by now?
Just everyone on the planet Earth. What I'm getting from this is we all gotta start planning new podcasts for 2026.
No, I already have too many.
Make another one.
You do.
Come on. Charlie, make another one and, hey, do YouTube again and, hey, just burn out. Just burn out. Burning out's fun. It's not fun. Don't burn out.
Burnout sounds great, actually. Let's put it on my list of things to do this week.
On your
actually.
5-year plan.
Yeah.
My 5-year plan.
On my fuck it, we burn out.
Okay.
For all 5 years of it.
Too real. So yeah, where are we? So yeah, amulet to protect, and then Sadie and Carter are like, hey, how are you alive? We saw scorpions eat you. And Bass is like, yeah, you guys care, that's so cute. As it turns out, I almost did kind of die. My power was almost reduced to nothing. But then at the last second, when they thought they got me, I bamboozled them and turned back into a cat, and then went into the duat.
I
Some queen shit.
love that section because I don't know, it's just very heartwarming to me that she's like, oh, you actually care about my well-being. I'm immortal, so don't worry about it. But it's you're the sweetest little children of the pharaohs I've ever had. I don't know.
So I think we've confirmed at least that the how the Egyptian gods work is that maybe they cannot fully die. I mean, Bass is saying here, I would have just gone into the deepest depths of the Duat. It would have taken me a long time to come back.
Yeah, so it's sort of like Tartarus rules, but for the gods of Egypt.
Yeah, exactly. So instead, in the Egyptian pantheon of how things work, the gods just go to Tartarus when they die.
I mean, it seems like everything goes to Tartarus once they die, and they just take a while to come back. So the Egyptian form of Tartarus.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I don't know that the Greek pantheon can be killed either, in Rick's mythology.
They can, but they can be, depowered so much and put in, the depth of Tartarus or whatever that they have to spend a long time reforming. Like Kronos.
Right. Or, Pan died, but he wasn't, killed by a specific person. He was more killed by the progress of time. Yeah. They have their own rules, but they are immortal.
Yeah, again, I'm just wondering how Pan's death works with all of this as well. Are there any Egyptian gods who have just faded like that?
Yeah.
Shit. Mm-hmm. Thoughts for Owen, if Owen has
I'm so used to Rick listing out a bunch of if he's oh, there are many different regions and layers in the Duat. I'm so used to Rick listing out 3 or 4 serious things and then throwing in something wacky. So I was expecting the Abyss, River of the Night, Land of the Dead, Ohio.
Yeah. No, there should have been Ohio in there. I'm not gonna lie. What is it? The ninth circle of hell is actually just Ohio.
Yeah.
You're going to Cincy, baby!
Hey, listen, I love when people collectively realize the "you're going to Brazil" meme is kind of bad because it's implying a lot of negative annotations about Brazil, which is a decent country right now. And so they're okay, well, this meme is supposed to be congratulations, you're getting kidnapped and taken to the worst place on earth. It's not Brazil, you're going to Ohio.
There you go.
So yeah, what I also really love is that Bass was oh man, I went to the museum afterwards and you guys were already gone. They captured you. And Carter was no, we didn't get captured. And Bass is really, Carter? How long were you in the first zone before they decided to kill you? 24 hours? They've gotten friendlier.
I love that. Very good exchange. Delightful.
And now we're finally talking about how they're hosting gods. Bass calls them godlings. She's no, they usually would smote you to dust in a few seconds. And it's what are you talking about? We're hosting gods? Guys, we literally covered that 2 chapters ago. We just haven't dwelled on it.
Carter is processing, okay? He's fine. We, the reader, already did process this, but my boy needs a little time. It's going rough.
I think we, the reader, can experience a little extra feeling because the King Chronic came out roughly at the same time that Heroes was starting to come out. So
yeah, This was a few months before Lost Hero, I think.
So, yeah, Last Olympian comes out, and, like, Battle of Labyrinth came out, prior, and you're like, wow, the only other interpretation I have of a primordial god taking over someone's body, or, like, possessing someone's body, is Kronos taking over Luke.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
once again.
So if you're brand new to this, if this was, like, way back when, way back when it was all coming out as it was coming out, and you're reading along with whatever comes out, you might have a little extra bit of fear, and then the following conversations kind of mitigate that fear.
Yeah. So, specifically, they're like, okay, wait, how are we the host for gods? It was when the Rosetta Stone shattered. Remember, 5 gods were released, okay? We know about Osiris, we know about Set, and there's, I guess, another one who you're not mentioning at all. Doesn't matter. But Carter's like, oh, he has his amulet of the Eye of Horus, and Sadie's brings out her amulet, and hers is like the Tayet, the Knot of Isis. Like, okay, I guess we have Horus and Isis.
Yay, finally! Like, my god, we have been waiting.
Yeah. It's the fact that, like, oh yeah, our amulets protected us. Like, yeah, if you'd stayed out of the room, they would have protected you. But because you were in the room, and you also had the god symbols for power on you, and wanted to help your dad, they were like, oh, consent? This is consent. Yeah. So
or
that's
as Madison says here, an invitation. Yeah.
It's kind of like Beetlejuice rules.
I keep thinking about Supernatural. We've talked about that like way too much already, though.
You were thinking about that one guy that Castiel is in the body of?
Yeah,
no.
My roommates are watching season 5 right now, and it's like a whole thing that beings want to be in them.
Hey, yo.
But hey, we're getting to the body sharing that Ray's been waiting for, like, this whole time.
Yay, body sharing for me! Carter finally, like, talks directly to Horus this chapter. They're, like, having a conversation for me, personally. My good shit.
Rick Riordan, when he wrote this in 2010, was like, there's going to be a little guy out there in the future, Raye, and I'm going to write the scene just for them.
And I appreciate it. It did awaken something in me.
You just really want to have you want to have a guy in your brain, don't you? You want to share your body with someone.
I do, okay? Is that so wrong?
Anyways.
This is a new thing that I was not aware of.
I mean, listen, we're not going to kink shame Raye. I mean, we will after the call, but, like, we're not going to kink shame him on the recording.
Yeah, not to the internet, at least.
We don't want evidence of it, Charlie.
This is true.
How many times have I been kink shamed on this podcast? It's too late for this, Robert.
Oh, just every time Robert's on. Hey, remember
it's chaos.
Gay sex in the church views?
Oh, yeah. Hey, fellas, yeah, think about gay sex in church. Gotta bring that back every time I come on. That was just a one-time story that Raye talked about, like, for 2 seconds on, like, the second episode I was ever on, and I've just been bringing it up every time ever since.
It's so important.
It's God bless. Anyway, so yeah, voice in his head that's definitely not his, and he's like, I'm afraid, but also I'm just gonna be like, hello, Horus? And the other guy's like, hello, Carter.
Oh boy.
I like how he freaks out. He's like, someone get a can opener. I got a god stuck in my head. I'm like, my brother in Christ. No, that just kills you.
I love that, though.
It's not a good visual. It's on your brain.
Yeah, it's also really funny because at the same time Sadie is talking to Isis, in her head, but, like, we're not in Sadie's POV right now, so she's just also equally freaking out, but we're kind of getting what, like, Bass is looking at both of them being like, what the fuck's going on? And they're like, there's someone in my brain that isn't me!
I also like the implication that Sadie's just better at it, at, like, talking to someone internally, and Carter just keeps yelling stuff out loud.
Yeah.
And they're like, bro, who are you talking to?
I want to imagine headcanoning that it's sort of like Superior Spider-Man, where it's how familiar are we with the story of Superior Spider-Man?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's the story where Doc Ock takes over Spider-Man's body, and the, like, That's weird. The process, it's actually a really good story. The process in which it happened, well, it's also a really mixed backstory. The process in which it happens leaves like a bit of Peter's consciousness, like chilling out as a ghostly form next to Otto Octavius. So while Otto is in Spider-Man's body doing Spider-Man shit, Peter is like floating beside him being like, bro, what the fuck? Like, do hero stuff. And that's just sort of the image I'm imagining in my brain, where there's just like maybe like a little holographic Horus right next to him, and like no one else can see it but him.
I think that's just Moon Knight. I think.
You know what? Yeah, it's just Moon Knight.
But also we can't talk about Moon Knight because Ray's still watching it. So
Rip.
We've only seen 2 episodes.
What is? Oh god, this is it wasn't a popular cartoon on Cartoon Network, but one of you two might know it. There was that cartoon about the kid who was in an accident and had to have a brain transplant, and he was given the brain of a very popular cartoonist in his universe, and because of that, he was able to see the cartoons that the cartoonist made. About. The cartoons that the cartoonist drew.
His name was like Jimmy or something, isn't it?
Something. Like, Jimmy's Head, I think, was the show. Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm completely unfamiliar. This
fantastic. Okay.
Wild.
Hey, Ray, I want you to... Hey, Ray, completely unrelated question. Did you ever watch SpongeBob as a kid?
Yes.
Damn it, okay, because why can't you just be the kid who's like, actually, I've never seen SpongeBob as a kid? Like, yes, we know, you tell us. Anyway, no.
Actually Teddy.
Rip.
Like, yeah, which is really funny because Andy, their like partner, like their fiance, is like very into like SpongeBob jokes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, just the two of us making references that Teddy does not understand.
Rip.
Oh my sweet child. Can't believe
it's not like all the God is in Sadie and Carter. It's just like a little bit, like a little tiny place.
Yes, just a little sliver, a little piece of them, you know?
It's not possession, Best says. Could be possession, though, if they just kind of gave up their bodies to godly power. Yeah. And then that would solve all their problems, except for the fact that then they wouldn't have bodies anymore, or agency, or anything.
Do they need a body? Do they really need a body? Like...
I mean... Preferably.
Do they really need agency? Are they just characters in a story?
Oh no, we're getting too deep.
We're getting too deep. Because we're in too deep.
I'm trying to keep up above in my head. That song is on Lego Rock Band.
That is a sentence.
Okay, so Sadie tries to smash her amulet because she's like, this is how the weird goddess got in my brain. If I get rid of it, if I destroy it, then suddenly she won't be here anymore. But that's... I mean,
listen, no Sadie is smarter than that, but it's also kind of giving, they're putting chemicals in the water to make the frickin' frogs gay.
They are, didn't you know?
I mean, she's not wrong. The goddess did get in through the amulet. It's not in the amulet, though. It's in your brain. This is not going to help.
Yeah.
Also, you can't smash that anyways.
She saw that as, like, the doorway to you, and now she's inside of you, okay? Specifically. Yeah. I also feel like Sadie just didn't talk to Isis out loud, because she's like, no, I can't talk to her out loud, then I will look like a weirdo and a freak.
Like Carter.
Yeah. That's just what I'm imagining her saying in her head.
So Bast is like, you guys have to defeat Set because you are now the avatars of Horus and Isis, and that's like their job, and so then it's your job. So it becomes that's their whole thing now. And Carter is like, hey, if I've got a god in my brain, why aren't I better at everything than I am currently?
I mean,
why am I so... If God in brain, why me no do good?
Yes, precisely.
Sadie takes this opportunity to roast him as she should. And Bast is like, don't worry about it. You'll get it. You'll get the hang of it.
I mean, he still did some like pretty cool shit, like deflecting those knives before, and like the hawk-headed avatar and all of that. Yeah. And then, okay, yeah, but then we have, like, the moment where, like, Horus is like, I could just take over. It'd be fine. Like, don't worry about it.
Beetlejuice-ass nonsense. Let me take over. Come on. Just let me fucking do it. Come on, just let go. I'll take over. I'll be good. And it's like, shut the fuck up, Horus. Shut the fuck up. I like being a person in control.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Carter's just like, okay, how can I be sure you wouldn't get me killed and then move on to your next host? Like, that is so real to me. Is that, like, do you trust this guy to, like, not just get your body murdered and then move on to somebody else since he can, go into people's bodies? Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. From what I can tell, it's been a while. He has some incentive, I think, probably, to keep you around, seems like. But, I mean, I guess it's a valid concern. So, Carter's like, fuck that. And he also does tell Sadie, finally, that Amos was captured and that he suspects Desjardins. And Bast is like, that makes some sense.
Because he spoke French that
It
one
would
time.
be real bad.
I spoke French. That means he must be the evil French dude, obviously.
It's just really funny that they're instantly blaming I mean, listen, it's also Desjardins wanted to kill them, and fine, that influences the decision a little bit, but Set spoke French once. If Desjardins, fuck him up.
I mean, so I said this last time, but when he spoke French, I was like, oh my god, Desjardins? And then Carter also said that, and I was like, oh, it's not him. It's a red herring.
It's a red herring.
So they did get me too, though. And I could still be wrong, but they are so sure now that I'm like, there's no way.
It's like, you sweet summer children, you don't know shit.
Remember when we thought it was Hades? Remember when we were like, oh yeah, Hades stole the lightning bolt. Obviously, it was him.
And then you get to the underworld, he's like, hey, where the fuck's my helmet? It's like, what?
And you're like, no one ever said anything about your helmet. What
also,
are you talking about?
Also, hey, you have lightning bolt. Say, what?
What? No way.
Yeah, I know how Rick works. I know about the plot twists.
Plot twist. So we also learned that because they have the power of the gods, that's why they've been progressing so fast. The more they channel the gods, the more powerful they will become.
Very good. And also, it's very important that they have the two pharaoh lines. It makes them very powerful of their own right, which, is another incentive for the gods to keep them around. They're like the best hosts they could get, probably. And then Bast almost says something about their mom, and then she stops herself and says, like, if you don't leave right now.
Yeah, so, fun fact, Bast is also, blaming herself for their mom's death. Fun stuff!
Yep.
Because she literally was like, hey, I can save you, I can help you, and Ruby Kane was like, no way, I'm gonna do this myself, and she burned herself up. Rip.
Real rough.
Yeah, yikes. Okay,
Carter thinks about his mom and is real sad for a little while.
But now we gotta get back to the plot, guys. We had our traumatic stuff. We figured out, what's happening, but we need to stop Set. Okay, how do we do that? There's a book. Of course, there's a MacGuffin. Let's get the MacGuffin. It's a powerful book made by Thoth himself. And who happens to own this book? This very important book is
Desjardins.
Desjardins.
It's like that. It's like the beginning of Ratatouille, where they're like, saffron. What would make this saffron? Saffron. Why do I have the feeling it's in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Yep.
But, good and bad news. At least they're in the right spot,
Yeah.
Gad news. Bood news.
God. Okay.
If you just combine words, it becomes funny. Quick, Charlie, say a word.
No.
Ray, say a word.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. Exactly. We did it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Desjardins lives on Pyramids Road. Carter says maybe he couldn't find a place on stupid evil magician street. Get his ass, Carter.
So he's got a wonderful house with a red door. Isn't that the bad color? It's the color of Set.
This is the bad place.
Yeah, we've entered the bad place. It's France.
Charlie, aren't you French?
Yes, I am.
Rip.
But I'm French Canadian. We escaped France.
Oh, that's worse. Oh no, that's worse. No. I'm sorry, Charlie. I have to put you down. If you were just French from the motherland, that we could excuse that. But Quebec French, no, we have to put you down. Sorry.
Hey, listen, my family escaped France to go to Canada, and then we escaped Canada to go to Maine.
Damn.
There you go. Oh, it's some fun shit.
Okay, so that's the Red Lord. We've talked about that before, but this is the first time I think that we've really, like, laid out. Black is good in Egyptian because it's the color of good soil that you can grow shit on. Red is bad. It's the color of the desert. You can't grow shit there. You're gonna fucking die. Red Lord out in the wild, chaotic sands. Good.
There you go.
We got that all laid out.
So, yeah. Black is our good color, red is our evil color. Hey, did you notice that I made our logo to be red?
Wow.
Listen.
Is this podcast chaotic evil?
Listen, this time we don't have, like, special shirts or, like, anything. Like, so I was just like, oh, let's play with the black and the red. Let's just... that's it. That's our logo colors right now. Okay, so yeah, we gotta get into this house. There's gonna be traps, so we can't just walk in, but also we can walk in because we're not fully gods, so it's fine.
Right. It's like how it's interesting. It's like how the demigods can be hurt by mortal weapons or by celestial weapons.
Yeah.
Except it's kind of not like that. It's like the opposite of that because you can't be stopped by this god thing. It's like how Danny Phantom in human form can walk through a ghost shield.
There you go. There you go.
Workshop it.
Yeah.
Listen, we always got to bring in Danny Phantom at any time.
I'm always thinking about Danny Phantom every day.
As you should. Now, we have to turn into birds to get in here because, like, that's a good sneaky way to get in here, you know? Become Animorphs. There you go. Plus, Bast really likes birds. She wants to eat the children, guys. She wants to eat them. We are not safe.
No, okay. Sadie's like, you won't pounce on us? Bast looked offended. Perish the thought. Carter's like, I wish she didn't use the word perish. But I believe her. I trust this woman with my life.
Yeah, no, I think she has good intentions. I think the problem is she's also a cat.
Yeah. I mean, she will stalk them. But also, cats just do that. Cats are gonna stalk you.
It's just like...
It's playful.
It's just like how Orzo does not kill the bugs. He just plays with them.
Riddlebones also, it's so annoying. I'm like, please, for the love of God, eat that spider. If you do it, like, you could be our little bug hunter, and we wouldn't have to deal with them. And yet, you just let them go? What's the point? Girl, please.
They're friends.
Yeah.
I don't think that the spider thinks they're friends.
Orso will wound the poor bugs, but, like, he will not kill them.
Oh, man.
It's very annoying. Okay,
cats
so...
are, like, one of the world's evilest creatures.
But also the best creatures. Leave them alone.
They're so beautiful and wonderful, and they love torture.
Correct. Okay,
it's so cute.
We're talking to Horace. Can you do the falcon thing, dude? Is that possible? Imagine if Carter had turned into an emu. Or, like, an ostrich or something. Wonderful.
I love this little bit right here where Horace is like, oh, you want to talk to me now that you need something from me? Okay, whatever. Like, just his petty saltiness. Delightful.
I love how Carter's just talking to... I love how he's like, man, come on, just do the Falcon thing.
It's fine, just do it. Come on, please.
I finally finished watching Gravity Falls with my partner like a month ago at this point. But right now, for some reason, Carter's voice just sort of sounds like Dipper to me in my brain.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, it's the sibling vibes, but I don't think Sadie is quite a Mabel.
No. we need someone British and maybe a little annoying to be Sadie. Quick. Who's a British person right now? Young Emma Watson. We nailed it. Okay.
Hey, I don't think we asked you, Robert. Do you have a preference? Do you have a favorite character? Are you a Carter or a Sadie?
Listen, I like sassy British girl making fun of her brother, but also I realize that there's a lot of complexities in Carter's character that I enjoy a lot. So that's my answer.
Hell yeah, Carter for the win.
Listen. I'm just gonna be over here alone in Sadie Land. Sassy British
sister makes fun of a brother who's like serious and sad and like complicated and has a lot. Anyway, so yeah, he turns into Falcon, and then apparently it took him like 10 minutes, which is funny because in his brain it was instantaneous. But Bass is like, yeah, hey, you took 10 minutes, my guy.
Speaking of Animorphs, I would like to imagine that it was, like, a horrible, like, gory, bone-crunching transformation, just like in that. Like, this long, agonizing 10-minute long process.
Sometimes in like the original Ben 10, I would see how Ben changes when he uses the Omnitrix. I'm like, how does that hurt? Like, pieces of your skin are like melting off, or like your bones are turning into different bones. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
how does that hurt?
I mean, he does say his skin is burning, he had trouble breathing, and then it happens. He's probably also blocking out the other stuff that
the trauma
happened as well.
And Sadie turned into a kite. No, not the kite with a string, the bird kite.
Yes. And now every time she speaks in this chapter, she's just saying ha ha ha, which are how the bird.
Yeah.
And Bast is fighting her inner fucking demons not to eat these children.
She is.
Yep. But listen, I love this moment. Carter Kane, 14, died tragically in Paris when he was eaten by his sister's cat Muffin. Like,
you know, she starts doing the little chittering and you're like, oh god, we gotta get out of here.
Get out, abort mission.
Get out!
And then Carter is also having hunger thoughts as he's just like, ooh, I could go find a mouse to eat, as he's soaring above like Paris. And he's like, wait a second.
Note from my Animorphs book reading, I sailed on the cool air currents above the rooftops of Paris. No, you didn't. You don't soar on cold air, idiot. Warm air rises. You ride a thermal, which is a pocket of warm air. Okay. Just so we all know.
I'm sorry, I didn't need any science in my urban fantasy.
Yes, you do. That's what Animorphs is for.
Thank you. My Animorphs friends are.
Okay. They have to fly down into Desjardins' rooftop garden. Apparently the doors leading into it are an illusion, so you just have to like swoop through them to punch through the magical barriers. And they both managed to do that.
That means he has no doors.
Would have been real bad if that didn't work out. You ever see a bird hit a window?
Yeah, a lot of time in cartoons. Doesn't sound like fun. But also, why does this man not have doors? Why are his doors big?
That is weird. Also, that is also
the bigger
weird.
Question. So we find the library, and then Sadie cannot turn back, but Carter can. He's
just like my Animorphs.
Poor gal. It's okay. But she's gonna keep watch, and he's going to look through and try to find this book of Thoth.
There's a lot of books here, though, so he asks for some assistance.
Yeah, he needs some help from good old Doughboy. And Doughboy's like, why should I help you? Because you have no choice? Well, okay.
I hate that argument.
So he has to hold up Doughboy to see if he can read the titles of the books. And then he brings out some books that are just not helpful, but are wonderful jokes. We have the Book of Summoning Fruit Bats.
Wild that that comes back. You would not expect, and yet.
I love how they have Chekhov's book introduced and paid off within, like, a couple of paragraphs of each other.
Also referenced in the chapter title, so you, like, clock that. You're like, oh, damn, fruit bats?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is the thing I wanted to look up before. I want to look up this guy to see what he looks like, because Carter's looking at a painting and he's like, oh, that looks like the guy who plays Wolverine.
It's Jean-Francois Champollion, who is apparently the Rosetta Stone guy.
I gotta look him up now. Does he look like Wolverine? I mean, sure. Not as much as you would think.
No, the only thing that he has in common with Wolverine is them big ol' sideburns. Them chops.
Yeah. I think you're just blind, Carter. I think you're face blind. Just a little bit.
It's a little joke.
But this guy is important. Jean-Francois Champollion, he deciphered the hieroglyphics on the Rosetta Stone. He unleashed magic as a magician outside of the house. And he didn't get to join the House of Life, but his descendants, aka Desjardins, were invited to the House of Life.
Yeah, and so we get a little bit of House of Life politics here. Carter's like, oh, so he didn't like our family because we're like old money and he's new money, but for magic.
But he's not even that young, necessarily. He's 200 years old. I mean, yes, they're old because, like, you know, ancient Egypt is, like, older than you think it is and all that bullshit. But bruh, you're no spring chicken either. So
well, that just makes it worse. Like, they're these children who have done nothing and yet have everyone's, attention and respect because of their lineage. And he's, this guy who's got a claw his way. Also, the fact that Julius destroyed the Rosetta Stone, and, it's basically a direct insult to Desjardins' family.
It really is, actually. Oops.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
like,
why he
oh
chose
that.
He was like, it'll piss off that dude? The Rosetta Stone. Fuck it up, bitch!
So we have some more joke books. Mastery of the 5 Elements is one. About taming the 5 essential elements. Earth, air, water, fire, and cheese.
Where's our intro, to Avatar? But, with cheese as the 5th element?
But it needs to be said cheese. It needs to be cheese. Cheese needs to be said the way that Wallace says it in Wallace and Gromit.
Cheese. Yeah.
Oh god.
So this made me curious, and I did look it up because we were sort of talking about it when we were like, what elements did the Egyptians have? The Greek philosophers, they did get it from Egypt. Originally, there were 3 elements, and then they added air, it looks like. The 5th element, potentially, is moisture. So if you think about,
moist?
Cheese is, kind of sweaty.
Moist. Moist. It's one of my favorite words, okay?
Please, never again.
Moist.
So there you go. I made it make sense.
I'm glad you did. Good job. Yay for effort. Okay, so and then we find the book. We found the exact book that we needed, and guess what? Doughboy's like, it's trapped, but he says it 2 seconds after Carter has already pulled it out.
Yeah. I mean, he could have been a little more helpful there, a little more urgent. But Doughboy hates them, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm just mad. This man has a trapped book, but where's his secret passageway from a book that you take out? Why doesn't he have one of those? Come on, get on that, dude. So there's a plague of fruit bats now. Why fruit bats? This is my question. Rick, what were you on?
I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, there's got to be precedent for this, cursing people with a plague of fruit bats,
And if we're going
otherwise
with
you're
Egyptian, I would have thought locusts or some kind of other thing, but we're going with fruit bats. This is our
fruit
plague
bats
of the day.
Are the least intimidating kind of bat.
Yeah.
I mean, there are probably cuter bats. There are some really cute bats in the world. I don't actually know what a fruit bat looks like, but
it looks like an orange, but with bat wings.
God damn it!
It's because it's a fruit bat.
Let me see these little guys. Let me see these delightful little critters. Yeah. Fruit bats are really cute little bats. There are cuter bats, I think. They have kind of a long snout, kind of wolfish faces, but they're still pretty sweet little guys, is all I'm saying.
Dude, I'm just thinking about a vampire who is not necessarily a vegetarian, but they have to subsist off of fruit. Specifically, because we are a
vampire and they need to suck a mango.
Yes.
I thought you were gonna go True Blood vampires where they can they don't need to feed because they have artificial blood.
No, I was thinking that they suck the juices out of fruits, so you can just drink some apple juice or maybe some apple blood if you're Owl House.
Fruit vampire who only feeds on gay people. It was right there.
Shut up.
Okay.
That's a fruity vampire if I've ever heard one.
God, okay. We have to get out of here.
Guys, it's bird time. We're getting the fuck out of here. And then we meet Bast, and she's like, we have to go to the Louvre. The Louvre is our exit strategy, is the closest portal. That's where we're gonna find something Egyptian to get us out of here.
Sadie does escape bird form. Carter does a couple transformations. He's quite good at it, apparently. Sadie... Yeah. More trouble.
He's quick. He's quick. He knows how to bird.
He's smooth.
Bird up. Bum, 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 bum.
I mean, it makes sense. Bird is very much Horus's thing.
Yeah, definitely Horus's thing. I think, Isis has, she has a bird form technically, and she's got her wings, but it should be easier for Horus. So we finished the chapter. Robert, where can the people find you on the internet? Who the fuck are you? Why are you here?
Okay, so you can find me on the internet I'm the damn meme page. I was saying this earlier before we started recording, is that most of the times that I've been on this show, I've been wearing the damn meme page outfit. And then one day Raye was like, "You always wear this outfit," so I'm like, "Okay, fine. The next time I'll wear something that's not this outfit." And then I wore something that's not this outfit. But then today, because I'm doing something, and I'll talk about it in a second, I'm wearing the damn meme page outfit. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
if you want to find me on the internet, I'm the damn meme page on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. I think I'm going to delete my Twitter after this, actually, because Twitter's bad. Or at least deactivate it. I also have a YouTube account, the damn meme page. Right now, the next big project I'm working on is a 8-part series called Percy Jackson 1 Year Later, to sort of be a tide that helps us coast into season 2, because everyone's waiting and everyone's impatient. So hey, let's relive like it's the end of 2023 again, and let's go through each episode one at a time. These two nerds are on one of the episodes. Which one? I won't tell you. You'll have to watch to find out.
Ooh, it's not like we already talked about this show with Robert before. Not at all. And do we have any media plugs for our listeners? What have you been consuming, Robert?
God, what have I been consuming? I remember I had a funny answer that I came up with earlier and I forgot it completely. Let's say I have been consuming way too much doom scroll on TikTok. No, let's say that I've been consuming... You know what? The latest Dragon Ball Z game came out not too long ago, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It's been fun. It's been great. I'm playing that every now and then, but I also already beat the main stories, so what do I do now? Fight people online? You think I'm gonna pay $40 or whatever for PlayStation Live? You're fucking crazy.
There you go. You know what I'm gonna promote? I'm actually gonna promote our other podcast that we do, Robert, together. Did you know that we do a podcast together? You didn't even mention it in all the things that you do.
Listen, I'm sorry.
What do we do together? What do we talk about?
We talk about Steven Universe. It's at the time we're recording currently on a break, but I think by the time this episode goes up, we will be back for season 2.
In fact, tomorrow from the day we are recording is the day that we come back. So there you go.
But that's for our non-regular feed. Our regular feed comes back next week from when we're recording.
Yes, but we will. Yeah, trailer's out tomorrow. But yeah, but guess what? The Bits has other stuff going on. So you could be now a patron of not only of the Eldest Gods, but you could also be a patron of the Bits as well. Woo! And I made merch on Redbubble. Look up on Patreon and Redbubble. The Bits SU is where we're at.
Woo! Hell yeah.
It's good stuff. I've been making so many designs for merch.
Hell yeah. Delightful.
Helps me so much. It's all I have to do now.
I have a thing, but I'm pretty sure that I've already mentioned it before on this podcast, almost certain, but I just reread it today, or so I wanted to mention 17776, which is an American football story. It's a normal article about sports hosted on sports website SB Nation by sports journalist John Boyes, and it's super not a multimedia sci-fi webcomic about a future in which all humans are immortal and they have nothing to strive for anymore, and so they play a lot of weird-ass football.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
okay.
I today just watched somebody reading through it on YouTube. I think that there are a couple of those, and had a really good time doing it. I cried 3 times, and it only took 3 hours. That's one cry per hour. It's a really good story. So I highly recommend both 17776 and 20020, which is the sequel that is not technically complete at this point, but apparently he's planning on finishing it eventually. So fingers crossed for that. Both are really, really excellent pieces of writing. Just it will make you feel emotions that you have never experienced before, which is always something that I recommend. So that's me. Why don't you free us from this mortal coil?
We're free.
I suppose I could. Get the fuck out of my house. You guys have to go turn into birds or something.
No,
or maybe
Charlie. Charlie, you're supposed to get the fuck out of your body. We're the two gods possessing you.
Oh, you're the two gods possessing me? Both of you at the same time? Fuck, that's too many gods. Get the fuck out of my body. Like, no, my body is not ready. I can't host two gods at the same time. That's too much.
One from each end. It's
Oh god.
It's a threesome.
Release us. Stop this shit. Release us right now.
Get us out of here.
Bye.
I'll take care of this. No.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Of the Eldest Gods would like to thank its $10 and up patrons. This means you're either in the Savior of Olympus tier or the God Complex tier on our Patreon, patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. Thank you all so much for your support, especially Matt, our God Complex patron.
You can follow this podcast socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send us a message through the Duat to oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about the Riordanverse or whatever else. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Against All Odds, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with mythology, no promises. You can check out our merch store on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. If you want to hear more from me, Raye, check out Barbie Movie Slap, a podcast where my co-host Ted and I discuss Barbie's cinematic universe. That podcast Twitter is at Barbie Slaps.
You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. You can also hear my voice on 2 other podcasts. I co-host another podcast on the network with the meme maker Robert called The Bits, where we talk about the Cartoon Network show Steven Universe. I also co-host a non-network podcast with my buddy Ethan called Mysteries in the Machine, where we talk about all things Scooby-Doo. Our music was created and produced by Isabel Strauss-Riggs. You can find Isabel at Kane I, that's I is in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel, Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast.
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now we are discussing The Kane Chronicles. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday.
We are...
Not the Crystal Gems.
We are the Bits.
The Bits, the Bits, the Bits.
A Steven Universe review podcast.
Celebrating the 10th anniversary
of a show that's very near and dear to our hearts.
So get ready to cry with us.
And try our best not to sing.
As we rewatch one of the gayest shows of the 2010s.
New episodes coming out to you every Friday.
Featuring your favorite host, Charlie.
And Robert.
You were the path of nuts. I remember this.
Get nut.
Me?
Yeah, Robert, you chose to be following the path of nuts.
Nuts. I'm gonna do my bit, but still.
And it's No Nut November.
Ha!
Damn.
I get it. That's very funny. What?
And we're gonna be recording about her in No Nut November.
Y'all don't remember. Don't nut in No Nut November. Don't talk about nut.
Deus Ex Media.